Hello and welcome to the Pride Spotlight. Here each month we highlight one of our wonderful members and we get to know them a little better. My name is Rheama and I am your host, and today we are very happy to welcome Bryony Pullin. Welcome, Bryony.
Thank you so much, Rheama. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Before we dive into what brought you here today into the Pride, can you share a little bit about yourself and your day-to-day and where you're calling from today?
Sure. I live in Florida in the United States, North Central Florida, Gainesville area. I have a 5-acre farm and 3 horses, 5 goats, and 2 cats that I get to share that with, and my husband when he's home. And my day to day, I'm also a massage therapist and a yoga teacher, and I do body work for both humans and horses. And so that's some of my day to day. I try to structure my schedule so that I have a balance between my work hours and being able to just be kind of fluid and free and grounded on my farm and with my animals and tending to them and our relationship. So I'm fortunate that what I do for a living, I love and am passionate about. And I'm fortunate that I have the freedom to structure my life in a way that lets me have the balance I need to be the person I want to be in the world. So,
That's wonderful. So tell us what brought you to the Pride.
yeah, well, one day I was on my laptop and I don't remember if I was looking up something or just I don't even know how, but somehow an article that P had written popped up on the screen and it grabbed my attention. It was about a little bird that had been injured in London, and it had been injured on purpose by a human who was running and kicked it. And P was sharing the story and talking about how the love that we show to each being makes such a difference, no matter what the physical outcome is. And in the case of that little bird, a lot of humans rushed to his aid and took him to care and tried to save his life. And ultimately, he wasn't saved. But what he expressed that he had shared was that he felt the love. And I still, to this day, a year and a half later, I still have that come to mind in the face of witnessing suffering or feeling like I can't make a difference for an animal. And to just be reminded that what we can do is to send love. And that little bird felt that even amidst the things that had been done to harm him, and even amidst his suffering, he felt so loved, and just that made such a difference for him. And so something I've really struggled with, because I've felt a deep connection and love for animals and nature all of my life, I've struggled with the tendency to put humans in the position of the perpetrator. What really drew me to P was in reading her writing, in the face of that bird who was harmed and suffered because of a human, she still projected and conveyed so much love for everyone, that she could acknowledge a wrong had been done without being divisive, and that she was a voice for the animal and a voice for love. That's what impressed me the most. I thought that is a person that I want to be influenced by.
So how long have you been a member then?
just a few months. It was earlier this year.
When listening to P relay the animal communications, what is your experience? How do you receive the messages?
First and foremost, I feel like I'm enveloped by love. And I think that's what helps me to receive the messages is that I feel through her, what she embodies is so loving, and the space that she holds, that frequency for all of us. So I soak in and feel. I sometimes get images in my head, sometimes words. Um, I just feel like I'm in a deep meditative place where anything that needs to arise can, and that the messages come through spirit in the form of animals and their wisdom and perspective. And it comes in different forms, but it's always relevant. And when I go back and listen again, there are other things that are relevant then because I am in a different place in my own process. So wherever I am, there's something so valuable that comes through to give me inspiration or guidance or reinforce something I might be going through in my life, to help me have clarity about that and how to navigate things, in more alignment with love and spirit.
So, Bryony, what is your favorite aspect of the Pride? Is it the power ups, the summit
Mm,
conversations, the sound
boy,
healing, the community?
I love all of that. So I don't know that I could pick a favorite thing. I My favorite thing is getting to be a part of it and knowing that I can go on that website and whatever I'm needing in that moment. So there are times I put on the sound healing from one of the conversations with nature summits, or I'll use P's meditations that she's put on there. The one that she put about, it has the lion and it's empowerment, and it helps me in the face of suffering to be able to remember that sending love is something that we can do even when we feel powerless. So I'll listen to her meditations. I love the power ups, especially if I'm on the way to go work with horses. I just want to drop into that space again and feel the support of P and the community and the animal that's speaking and its message, to help me to hold that vibration and carry what I want to contribute into that session with that horse, so that I feel like I have the strength of the community and all of that love and the acknowledgement of animals as wise beings as I go into a scenario where that is not the paradigm. So the pride is one of the ways I fill my tank so that I can be a voice for the animals and a voice for love.
I love
So,
that.
and I love the conversations with nature summits. Um, when I want to learn and tap into that, and I love that there's all these various teachers that all have this passion for nature and the animals, that I can access all of that right there in one place. And one other thing that I really love as a sensitive person who tends to get overwhelmed, especially with technology, I love that the website is simple, and that the Pride membership, it's simple. It's one of the things I really love about the way that P's site is set up and the membership is set up. It's clean, it's neat. You can go here for power ups, you can go here for summit stuff, and even that, it's okay. I want to see a summit talk. Who do I want to see today? It's well organized and simple and concise, and I can use it, and I'm not on overload. So I really appreciate that.
So, in what ways has being a member of the Pride enhanced or changed your life?
it's given me so much strength and helped me come back to my own roots, help me, um, you know, as a child, I was so in touch with nature, and I felt like I understood what she was trying to say. I remember being a child and sitting on my swing and just closing my eyes and feeling the breeze and conversing with the breeze and saying, "Would you give me a little push?" And then it would, and I would just delight in those kinds of interactions and believe in that. And, you know, growing up in the human world and having to condition ourselves to fit into a different paradigm where that's not always okay to talk about. Um, I don't think there's anyone in my daily life that I can talk freely about these things with. And just being a part of the pride, I'm in a space where that's safe, even if I don't speak, just getting to hear other people speak. That has enhanced my life so much because I always felt like I could only be my authentic self when I was alone in nature or with my animals, not when there were any humans around. And so to be able to feel safe and authentic in the presence of humans is a pretty amazing thing.
So tell me, do you feel you're integrating the wisdom that you're receiving into your everyday life?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's even, well, little things like we had the power up with Mole, which was really amazing. There were things that Mole said and that I could feel right away. Oh, I could feel his hands, and he goes through the dirt and he can't see, but he trusts where he's going and he trusts what he feels, and he uses his hands when he feels a density of energy and breaks up that density. And there's no judgment about that density being bad or wrong. It's just, oh, I'm drawn here, let me use the tool that I have to contribute and bring more ease. And I thought, oh, that's exactly what I get to do as a massage therapist. I'm just feeling and I feel this density and I work through that. And there's no judgment about it. It's just where can I bring more ease? And so that was really fun and playful. And then even in that same power up, Delphina was sharing about how earthworms had shown up for her the previous week. And she thought, well, isn't that interesting? I wonder what that's about. And it was like she was verbalizing exactly what I had experienced in my own life just that week before. I had come across earthworms in the most unusual place. I hadn't seen earthworms in probably years. And here were there clumps of them in two spots in my garden, one in the watering can. They were all clumped in the watering can in water. I thought, what are you doing in here? You need to be in the earth. You're going to drown in here. And then in a clay flower pot also that had collected water, and there's this clump of earthworms. And anyway, it was just her. I had that same thought. Oh, I wonder what this is about. And I dumped them into the earth and covered them up. Um, and then Delphina said that in the power up, talking about Mole and how that had come up for her. And it triggered me to then remember, oh, yeah, I had that encounter with them. And I kind of thought in that moment, oh, this is really special and something. But then I got busy in my life and, kind of forgot about it till she triggered that memory. And it turned out that that in and of itself was a very important, that going back to the memory of those earthworms I had encountered was a really important lesson that I needed right at that time. And the lesson was that when we're not in our own element, we can't make the contribution we're here to make. If we're trying to be something we're not, or be somewhere we're not, someplace that we don't fit. And maybe in my case, just telling myself, well, hang in there a little longer, keep working at it, it'll get easier. It doesn't feel like a fit, but you'll get used to it. with regard to a situation in my life. And those earthworms, that message only got through to me because of the power up a week later with Mole digging in the earth and Delphina sharing about her earthworm experience. So it is that feeling of we're all so interconnected, and all of those threads were totally connected and came back around. And I would have completely missed that had I not been in there on that call to hear that, and share that experience. And there's been so many other things like that where that particular power up on that particular day was, even if I didn't listen to it at the live call, like sometimes happens, I can't be there for that. But then when I do listen to that power up, that's exactly the day that I needed that message. And it again reminds me of just how interconnected we are. It helps me to know, not only by being part of the community and interacting with people in these power ups and other things, but the lived direct experience of we are so interconnected and I am not alone on this earth. And that's a really amazing feeling.
What progress have you seen or felt with your communications with animals since joining the Pride?
Because I'm getting lots of practice and the community support and the space of love and acceptance and encouragement that P creates and facilitates, and the way that she encourages each person to contribute. She's not like some teachers. I'm the authority here. I'm the only one who has anything of importance to say. And, I have to always be number one. That is so not even a part of this. She delights in things that come through other people, and she facilitates that happening. And so how it's affected my own communication is the way that she encourages us to just, whatever comes through, accept that, because she welcomes everybody's take on things and doesn't shut anybody down or reject anybody or make anyone feel stupid or, well, that wasn't a good contribution. She's just, oh, my love, oh, that's so wonderful. She celebrates it. That it gives us that permission to tap into that child within again, where we had that innately, and allows me to get in touch with the space in me that can receive those messages. Again, even if I don't share it with the group, it's such a deeply transformative experience inwardly, and being able to be a clear channel allows the messages to come through. Being held in a space of love and acceptance allows me to be a clear channel for those messages to come through. Otherwise, if I'm afraid of getting it wrong, or I'm afraid of looking stupid, or then my mental filter will prevent those messages from coming through. So all of the ways that she supports and facilitates and sets us up for success and encourages us helps. I have noticed that my mind is a clearer channel, and that I'm not afraid of getting it wrong.
Do you have a favorite species that you've communicated with during a power up?
Oh boy. Well, so far during my time in the Pride, we've had woodpecker, hummingbird, mole, and now the frog. And I've listened to a few of the past power ups, like I did with lemur. Recently, we had the frog power up, and as P was starting that, she invited anyone from the animal species that wanted to come. And I've seen her do this before, and she'll say, oh, polar bear, I have on my left, or I see so and so's come in. And I always just thought, oh, well, that's way beyond my capacity. I won't have anybody extra come in, but let's just see if I can get in touch with who our power up is about. At least if I can just do that, I'll be happy. Well, this time as she started to invite and lit the candle and welcomed in anyone from the animal species, and I had this flash of a little face in my head, and I it was very fleeting, but I thought, I see you. I acknowledge you. I jotted down a note for myself. I went, I don't know what that was. He had kind of a mask. He had little ears. He had a long body and long tail. And I thought, I'll just have to look into that later. And some part of my subconscious said mongoose, lemur, and I thought, okay, well, I don't have any knowledge or experience with those animals. I'll look that up later. And I looked up later online, and sure enough, what I had seen was a lemur. And so I right away went to the Pride on Peace membership site, and I looked up the power up to see, did she have one where lemur spoke? And sure enough, she did. So I listened to that, and that message was very much what I needed reinforced for me at that moment in my life.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
If more people could do this, it would really bring peace to the planet.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Much love.